An iconic South African movie, Sarafina, is making local film history by becoming the first to be selected twice by the prestigious Cannes Film Festival in France. Videovision says the picture that had its world premiere there 30 years ago as part of the official selection of the French affair has just been announced as part of this year's official selection for Cannes Classics. A spokesperson for Videovision says the Classics section recognizes films that are deemed to be quality works which have contributed to the evolution of the motion picture arts and encouraged the development of the film industry across the world. This year's festival is taking place from the 16th to the 27th of May. Anant Singh produced the movie and joins me via Zoom. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News this evening. That's a massive honor to be recognized by a premier film festival like Cannes as having contributed to the evolution of motion pictures. What does this moment mean for you and African storytelling?
Well, it's 30 years since Sarafina came to the screens here and around the world, and it's such a huge honor to be invited back. I don't think it's ever happened for a South African or even an African film ever before. So it's great that the cinema of South Africa is getting its showcase again in Cannes. And I think what it is in 92 when we released the film and shot it in Soweto, it was the early days pre our election, and it was quite revolutionary in its time. But I think having seen the film recently and having looked at the restoration that we did, we added in new footage, a song with Miriam Makeba and Laleti Kumalo called Thank You Mama, which is really quite powerful. And that it celebrates the youth, not only then, but even now, that the hope of the future is the youth. And I think that is the reason that no matter where in the world you are, yes, it's South Africa or it's Africa, that these young students and mainly women came up against apartheid and fought for us. And now today there's other battles, but it's also being driven largely by women around the world. So I do feel it will resonate and it is timeless.
What's the importance of making stories that, even though they're located in a certain time frame like 1976 and made and produced in 1992, now in 2023 the message can resonate?
Well, the Cannes Classics is actually a very interesting platform. They have the official selection, which is for all brand new films, and then they have the official selections of classics, which we are part of. And what they do is they celebrate film, they celebrate filmmakers, film talent, and the fact that we are bringing it back 30 years later clearly is a commentary from the film community of France that choose the selection process. They go through 3,000 or 4,000 films a year, and we have very important and significant filmmakers in this classics section this year. Jean-Luc Godard, who's probably considered one of the most prolific filmmakers of all time, is in the classics section. There's Emir Kusturica, who's also a renowned filmmaker, and here we are, the one African film, which really is very special. But I think it also celebrates the talents of South Africans, be it actors, be it cinematographer, be it every aspect, creative, behind and in front of the screen. Because we did this was the first sort of film that actually came out of South Africa that got released all over the world. The Walt Disney Company was the distributor of it in North America. Whoopi Goldberg is over the moon that the film is going to Cannes in the Classics. She said she's so proud of it and that it's about time that the youth get celebrated. And she's, doing some advertising for the film for this process, etc. And we've restored it to IMAX and to 4K in line with the technology that is available today. And it looks and seems so much more powerful. I watched it in an IMAX theater yesterday, and I was blown away again.
What's the importance of using culture as more than just something that people can while away time with? What's the power of film, of art, and African art in film?
Well, I think that's the whole story of the films that we've done. That's our great stories in South Africa, and I've been very fortunate to be able to tell some of them. And I think when you look at Sarafina, and here you have a musical, it's inspirational, but it's very powerful and it's very hard in the journey of people. And so that really is the ability to tell stories that in another 30 years' time, people will be watching it somewhere on a television screen, or on streaming, or on their phones, or wherever the technology will take it, because storytelling is timeless. If you tell a good story and people are moved and inspired by it, they will always watch it, and there'll be new generations of audiences. And I think in South Africa, if we'll take you as an example. You probably watched it mostly on a small screen, and if you go into a movie theater, it's a whole different experience. When you sit there and you take your children and you say, "Hey, this was our life, and here, look at this now," and the children will be further inspired.
Anant Singh, a film producer, just speaking to us about Sarafina going back to Cannes, making history, being selected as one of the classics. Really appreciate your time on SABC News.